A wonderful reference we can use to explore, for example, those who may experience, say through backswing, that kind of lead hip moving excessively forward, or other examples maybe to connect back to that, say for example, that kind of club moving excessively behind us, is that connection and really where the pressure sits through that kind of lead heel. So this is where context becomes so valuable, with the context of the question of, for example, avoiding that lead side of pelvis moving excessively forwards, club moving behind us, often that kind of ribcage elevating and kind of the head moving excessively away, that kind of ribcage almost kind of staying too level and too flat. The pressure through that lead heel, and almost, for example, in our start position, whatever pressure you observe through that lead heel address, as we move through backswing, it's maintaining that connection, that pressure through that lead heel. And this is very different, for example, for those who may actively kind of lift that lead heel for whatever reason that may be. That's a different question, and then a very different framework and context we fit within. So this is being very mindful of. If the aspiration is, for example, how do I avoid that lead hip moving excessively forwards through backswing, that kind of rib cage kind of almost kind of moving off the ball too much, the shoulders, in that very kind of colloquial definition, kind of rotating too level, or the club moving too far behind us. That lovely reference of, once again, is shown by that circle on screen now. The pressure through that lead heel address, as we move through backswing, is being very mindful we keep that connection, that pressure through that lead heel. So often, for example, when that lead hip moves excessively forwards, we then, so to go side on, as that kind of lead hip moves excessively forwards, we often then start to lose that pressure, as shown by that circle on screen. So using that lead heel, the pressure address, so again, this is where language becomes so important. We're not trying to increase pressure, we're just trying to maintain the connection. Whatever connection, whatever pressure you have in that lead heel address, as you move through backswing, it's maintaining that pressure, keeping that connection. Can be a very playful way of avoiding movements such as excessive lead hip thrust towards the ball. So from that kind of side-on view, when we lose that lead heel, we often get that kind of lead hip moving forwards. The club peg can move excessively behind us. The kind of rib cage can rotate almost as shown on that line on screen now, colloquially speaking, too level, kind of too flat. So using that lead heel can be a really nice way of exploring then, improve pelvis movement, improve club head path, improve ribcage movement, but in that very playful, very exploratory way. So keeping that connection, keeping that pressure to that lead heel address pretty much at all times through backswing can be a really helpful approach and very playful approach of improving those areas such as pelvis, ribcage and club head movement through backswing.